Now, our guests today are the eldest children of professional footballer Michael Owen. That's Gemma and James Owen. Well, aged just 8, James was diagnosed with a rare eye condition called Stargardt disease. And by 13, he was considered clinically blind. Well, James is joining us now with his big sister, Gemma, here to tell us about their unbreakable family bond and how Gemma has really helped him. Welcome, both of you. Welcome. Thank you for coming on. I know it's really important for you to be raising awareness because this is a very rare condition, James, isn't it? And you were just 8 years old when you found out you had this. Tell us how that happened. Who noticed it first?
Well, actually, I was in lower school, and it was when they started doing work on the boards, like the smart boards on the front of the class. So I was normally just sat with my mates, and I started struggling seeing the board. And the teacher suggested that I might have something wrong with my eyes, potentially. So we ended up going checking it out, and we've only came back with saying that I've had a rare disease called Stargardt. So, yeah, that's how it started.
And very rare. So a very big shock for you, aged just 8. Shock for the family too, Gemma. I mean, nobody wants a diagnosis like that. And we're saying it's very rare, so nobody knew anything about it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think at the start it was a little bit of a struggle, you know, for the family and for James. I think he had quite a few of his early school years, you know, quite frustrated and finding things, you know, work challenging. But I think he's really got to grips with it and embracing it now, which is.
You must have felt very protective of him as big sister.
I did.
Helping him and yeah.
Yeah, I know. I am the protective big sister, and seeing his mates sort of having fun and games with him a little bit, I did get protective sometimes.
James, I was just going to ask, in school, it's a tough environment. Sometimes kids can be quite cruel. I was going to say, how did you sort of manage that landscape yourself at such a young age?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It was quite to start off. And, yeah, I think, like, my dad saved me a bit there, to be honest, because I used to be coming back from school quite upset, like, most days. And he sat me down and said that your eyes aren't, like, gonna magically get better. You have to, you know, keep having a smile on your face, and if people make fun of you, like, just make a joke out of it. And that's honestly changed my life so much, and I can't imagine where I'll be today if he didn't tell me that.
That's so great.
That was really... Sorry, Dominic. You mentioned your dad there, Michael. Your mum Louise is in the audience with us today. Louise was just saying, you know, very difficult diagnosis for James to hear, but for all of you as a family to hear that and to know that there's no cure for it. How did you cope?
Honestly, not very well, to begin with. My husband's very optimistic, glass is always half full, but for me, the thought of there not being any treatment at the moment, any cure, was quite hard to deal with. And also knowing that progressively the condition was going to get worse with time as well.
And Gemma kind of stepped in.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, Gemma can say.
Yeah, I think my mum, as any mum would, I think she you know, found it very emotional, and she, you know, when James came back from school, had a bad day, I think she just got upset. She got emotional, and she wasn't really, you know, that strong sort of figure.
You feel a bit helpless, I think.
Well, exactly. So that's where I sort of tried my best to step in and sort of be there for him and sort of, you know, look at everything logically and try and work through it.
It must have been tough anyway to have a dad who was famous. Didn't you have your leg pulled a bit before? Both of you must have had a bit of that at school.
Yeah, we did a bit, but it's, you know, I went to the same school all my life, so kind of like growing up with the same people. So like from the start, normally you did get a bit of it, but after a while, no one really says it anymore.
Yeah, I think from James's point of view as well, from what I can only imagine, I think it was quite challenging, you know, having that expectation, you know, people coming up, oh, you're going to follow in your dad's footsteps, are you going to, you know, play football? And I think, yeah, as I said, I can only imagine from James's point of view how hard that must have been. You know, feeling like he can't live up to that and match up to that.
Absolutely. Like when I was when I was young, I used to get asked that, and I still do get asked that all the time, like, oh, do I do football, do I do this? And obviously, it was heartbreaking, because when I was younger, that's what I dreamed of doing. I dreamed to be a footballer. Like, my dad is my biggest, like, inspiration, so I just wanted to be exactly like him, and it hurt a bit when like, there's something which wasn't your fault would happen, and then you can't do it anymore. But I found, like, new passions, and I'm a lot happier now.
Gemma, we were talking a little bit earlier about using social media platforms for good. I understand you're working with a charity and using your social media platform to highlight what's going on.
Yes,
Tell us a bit more about that.
Working with Fight for Sight, which is a charity that that looks after a load of different eye conditions. Obviously, Stargardt being included. But yeah, just trying to do my bit really to raise awareness, because it is such a rare disease, and they don't have a lot of funding. So if I can just do my bit, then of course I'm gonna, with it being so close to home.
Well, that's good, and it's a good reason to use your social media platforms and get criticised so much for it. It's a good way. So, James, what about now your future? You're only 17, is that right?
Yeah, I'm 17 at the minute.
So, what are you doing now? You're at college, or?
I'm doing a business T level in college. It's a 2-year course, and I've done my first year now, so I'm on the home stretch. Yeah, I've got a lot of things which I'm looking forward to do when I'm older. It's more of just like a waiting game type thing now, but I'd go to the gym quite often. I found enjoyment doing that, and just, like, working on myself, really. Sorry to stop you up there, but I've also been doing other stuff, like, around trying to spread awareness of this type of thing. And I've started a documentary, well, I've been in a documentary, which hopefully will be coming out December.
Great.
So hopefully that'll be quite interesting to look at.
Well, I'm sure your dad's words ring in your ears, like you said, you have to get on with it, as you said, and you certainly are doing that, not just you, but as a family as well. Thank you very much to your mum as well, and Gemma and James Owen, and your dad, Michael, of course.